Brachial artery. Brachial artery is the major artery that supplies the arm, and it is a continuation of axillary artery. Remember, the brachial artery runs downward and laterally, crossing elbow joint and enters cubital fossa, and it ends by dividing into two arteries. One is radial artery and another one is ulnar artery. So, the brachial artery ends by dividing into two arteries at the level of neck of radius. Profunda brachii artery. Profunda brachii artery is the nutrient artery to humerus. Profunda brachii artery arises from brachial artery posterior-medially, and it runs along radial nerve and passes down radial groove. It also divides into deltoid or ascending branch, which ascends between long head and lateral head of triceps, and then anastomosis with posterior circumflex humerus artery. Anterior descending branch. This is the anterior descending branch. Here, this anterior descending branch is also called radial collateral artery, which takes part in anastomosis around the elbow. Here you can see the posterior descending branch. This one. Posterior descending branch is also called medial collateral artery, which also takes part in anastomosis around the elbow. Profunda brachii artery gives rise to nutrient artery to humerus. This nutrient artery enters humerus through a foramen or a hole and branches into a number of smaller arteries and arterioles to supply maximum nutrient that are needed by the humerus for its growth development. That's why profunda brachii artery is the nutrient artery to humerus. Here, this is the external iliac artery, and here this is the femoral artery, which is a continuation of external iliac artery, and the femoral artery gives rise to profunda femoris artery and superficial femoral artery. Then this profunda femoral artery is the nutrient artery that supply nutrients to the femur. This profunda femoral artery enters the femur through a foramen and branches into number of small arteries and arterioles to supply the nutrients that are required for the femur for its growth development. Here you can see the medial circumflex femoral artery that coming from the profunda femoris artery, and here this is the lateral circumflex femoral artery, which is also a branch of profunda femoris artery. Then it also gives rise to first perforating branch, second perforating branch and third perforating branch, and remember, it ends by becoming the fourth perforating artery. So, the common femoral artery gives rise to profunda femoris artery, and this is the only branch that arising from the lateral side of the femoral artery, and it passes medially behind the femoral vessels. It gives medial circumflex femoral artery, lateral circumflex femoral artery and perforating arteries. Popliteal artery. Here this is the popliteal artery and it is a continuation of femoral artery. Popliteal artery divides into two arteries, anterior tibial artery and posterior tibial artery. This one here. From the posterior tibial artery, peroneal artery arises. Posterior tibial artery of popliteal artery is the nutrient artery of tibia, and peroneal artery of posterior tibial artery is the nutrient artery of fibula. Posterior tibial artery enters the nutrient foramen of the tibia and supply nutrition, and this is the largest nutrient artery of the bone in the body. And peroneal artery is the nutrient artery of fibula, which also enters the foramen of the fibula and supply nutrition. Now remember, nutrient artery of humerus is profunda brachii artery. Nutrient artery of femur is profunda femoris artery. Nutrient artery of tibia is posterior tibial artery of popliteal artery. Nutrient artery of fibula is peroneal artery of posterior tibial artery.